Lecture 14, where we will give an overview of the digestive system. Animals use compartmentalized processing for digestion. This means that the digestion process is kept separate from the rest of the body tissues. This is very important because the body tissues need to be protected from the digestion process. Many digestive secretions, as well as protective secretions, will be secreted into the lumen or opening of the alimentary canal. Nutrients and water will be resorbed and will enter into the body tissues, typically through the bloodstream. Nutrition refers to the process of how an animal takes in and utilizes different food sources. In general, an animal's diet has to meet three primary requirements. It needs to provide enough chemical energy to meet the demands for various cellular processes. It needs to provide the organic building blocks to make macromolecules such as DNA and proteins. And it needs to provide essential nutrients. These include amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. Essential nutrients are very important. Animals may possess specific enzymes that produce different amino acids and vitamins. However, if these enzymes are not present, then these vitamins and amino acids will need to be consumed by the diet. As a result, they are deemed essential. Essential nutrients are important as they typically act as substrates, coenzymes, or cofactors for many biosynthetic pathways. We can classify essential nutrients into four main groups: essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, essential vitamins, and essential minerals. This slide gives you an idea of how diverse these essential nutrients are. Minerals can have very diverse functions, and many act as cofactors for enzymes that are needed for proper cellular and tissue functioning. Most vitamins can act as coenzymes for many biosynthetic processes. Fatty acids are also important for building up the phospholipids that are then incorporated into the cell membrane, and they're also important for storing energy and can act as signal molecules. Although most amino acids are readily produced by the body, a few, for instance lysine, may need to be consumed by alternative food sources. It is extremely important, as animals are heterotrophs, that they consume a proper diet. While vegetarianism and veganism offer much more ecologically sound diet alternatives, many plant sources are considered incomplete. This means that they do not have a full complement of amino acids when one consumes them, like most meats, cheeses, as well as egg products. As a result, it is important that if one chooses to take on this diet, that they make proper food choices to ensure that all of the amino acids and proper nutritional needs are met. As a result, an individual may want to consume a variety of different plant-based sources in order to meet those nutritional needs. For instance, corn, which is typical in a vegan or vegetarian diet, lacks the amino acids tryptophan as well as lysine, while beans, such as those seen here, lack methionine. Many vitamins are also needed in very small quantities. Most are obtained simply through eating a healthy diet. In addition, having a lack of these nutrients may cause an issue, as well as an overconsumption. Many times, with respect to vitamins, an overconsumption offers little to no health benefit. However, in some instances, it can have adverse health effects. This occurs if the body cannot eliminate the excess amounts that are being consumed. Take a look at the diagram below. Water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C and the B vitamins, are easily excreted in urine. As a result, if excess levels are obtained in the diet or through the overconsumption of vitamins, these can easily be eliminated from the body. However, more fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin A, D, E, and K, may have excess amounts deposited in fat tissue. As a result, this could cause an overaccumulation within the body to toxic levels. Deficiencies in any of these essential nutrients can cause deformities, disease, and even death. Animals will typically supplement their diet in order to maintain or obtain missing nutrients. These nutritional needs can also change over time and with various stages of development. For instance, herbivores during the winter season may lick salts from the roads to obtain missing minerals and salts from their diet. that are more readily obtained during the spring and into the fall seasons. Infants moving to solid food need to consume enough protein in their diet to ensure proper physical as well as mental development. As a result, their diet is usually supplemented either through breast milk or through formula. In addition, expectant mothers need to have higher levels of folic acid. This will help to prevent neural tube defects. Malnutrition, in general, will result when the chemical energy needs of an animal are not properly met by their diet. As a result, the body will begin to break down fats, and then eventually will break down proteins. This can lead to muscle loss, cognitive impairment, as well as a lack of insulation for thermal regulation. Malnutrition can also occur on the opposite end of the spectrum, when nutritional needs are overexceeded, which can eventually lead to obesity. We're now going to take a look at the digestion process. There are 4 main stages to the processing of food. This occurs with the steps of ingestion, the act of eating food, digestion, where the food particles are broken down both mechanically and chemically into smaller units, absorption, when small molecules such as amino acids and sugars enter into the body cells, and elimination, which involves the passage of undigested and waste material out of the body. With respect to feeding, there are many different modes of feeding: filter feeding, fluid feeding, substrate feeding, as well as bulk feeding. Take a look at the images below to understand the difference between these feeding types. Mechanical and chemical digestion are the 2 main ways that food particles can be broken down. Mechanical digestion occurs through the chewing or grinding of food as soon as the food enters into the oral cavity. Mechanical digestion also occurs as muscular contractions like peristalsis move the food bolus throughout the digestive system. Chemical digestion can occur both intracellularly and extracellularly. In intracellular digestion, we are referencing the fact when a food vacuole will enter into the cell, usually through the process of endocytosis. This will then interact with lysosomes within the cell to cause the digestion of the food material. Extracellular digestion, on the other hand, occurs when enzymes are released into the digestive cavity. In general, animals that have a very simple body plan, like the hydra, have a gastrovascular cavity. It is termed a gastrovascular cavity because it aids in digestion as well as nutrient distribution. The gastrovascular cavity only has one opening that acts as a mouth as well as an anus. In the hydra, digestion begins in the gastrovascular cavity. Food is brought into the mouth through the use of tentacles. Once in the gastrovascular cavity, gland cells, that you can see in the image below, will release enzymes to break down food particles. This is an example of extracellular digestion. Specialized cells that exist within the gastrodermis, which is lining the gastrovascular cavity, will phagocytize food particles, which represents intracellular digestion. Animals with more complex body plans will have what is termed an alimentary canal. This means that they have a distinct mouth as well as a distinct anus, and the alimentary canal will run throughout the length of the animal. This allows for a food bolus to be consumed, while the other one is still being digested and absorbed within the system. Note that this is not possible within a gastrovascular cavity. There are many different adaptations that can occur within the digestive system. For instance, the earthworm has a muscular pharynx as well as a gizzard. This will help the earthworm to pull in food particles and to grind them. The grasshopper, on the other hand, uses gastric ceca to aid in the digestion and absorption of plant material. Note that plant material has a cell wall, which is difficult to digest. Thus, the gastric cecae will help the organism to extract as much nutrients as possible. The bird, for instance, also has a muscular gizzard, similar to what we see in the digestive system of the earthworm. This aids in the mechanical digestion of the food.